Hi everyone, today we're here with Beverly from Downen Creative Studios. Today we're going to be doing a life cast of her ears for a cosplay that she has coming up. You want to talk about a little bit about that?
I love talking about this, and I'm so excited about doing some ears. So I, like a lot of other people these days, I'm obsessed with Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Yes, and because that game has so many cool characters and lots of different kinds of armor that you can do, so I'm challenging myself with this costume by adding some things that I don't really know how to do, like make ears. So the character is Lazelle. She is such an awesome character, but she has some parts that I've never really made before. So
oh yeah, those ears.
They're cool, but they're really big.
I know. Yeah. So no, there's definitely ways we can go about doing that, but of course the first thing that we are going to need to do is we're going to have to do that life cast.
Yes.
So process for the day is we are going to be using the face gel 590. That 590 is how much working time you have with the material. So that 5 is the 5 minutes.
Oh.
And then because alginate is just used with water, that 90 is, we recommend using 90-degree water with it.
Oh, that's a great way to remember.
Yeah,
that's
so
wonderful.
Those three numbers tell you everything you need to know as far as the working time and what water temperature you need to use. For today, we're going to be using this as a 2 to 3 ratio, so 2 powder of the face gel and then 3 parts water. Okay,
awesome. All right, well, I'm so excited. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
I'm excited to get started.
All right, let's get into it. So I already pre-dispensed our materials, so we don't have to worry about doing that. And so this is going to be a 2 to 3 ratio by volume, so we don't have to do any weighing. You of course can, but for the ease of use, I just like doing it by
That's
volume.
much simpler than weighing.
Oh yeah. One big thing is make sure that when you're doing these, make sure you're tapping down because there's a lot of air that gets trapped in there, so that can throw off your ratio a bit. So now let's just do a quick sizing, see which container works best.
Yeah,
this one
probably that
first.
one's gonna do a good job.
Let's do the smaller side of this. I think that's a good size.
Okay.
Gives us about 1 inch all the way around, which is perfect for that.
Awesome. Do you want to try the other side too?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they're both the same size.
Yep.
Ish.
Everyone's a little bit different, but it's close enough.
Got a plan. Love it.
All right. Ready to get started?
Yes, let's do it.
So for your position for this, all I'm going to have you do is just kind of put your arm down and then lay so your ear is nice and up. So when I put down the cup, it just sits nice and flat.
Okay, adjust my smock here.
So let's get our piece of plastic here, which I just use a garbage bag. I find that works best. Everyone has them around. Easy to use. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of a crescent shape here, just so that way that we can capture all of this right here.
Oh, I see. So you're not making an ear shape. It's still going to be formed around.
We still want it to be nice and tight because we don't want anything to get caught in there. So we want it to be as tight as possible, but just making sure the ear is fully exposed. That's all.
I see. I see.
That looks good to me.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Almost. I have a couple of questions.
Go for it.
So how long, so walk me through the steps that we're going to do, just real brief, just so I have an idea of what to expect.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you go down into that position. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to grab our powder and our water. I'm going to put my water in first and then put my powder in and mix that thoroughly until it's nice and smooth. The reason I'm putting the water in first is if I put the powder in first, you can get clumps down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the water will hydrate at the top and it's harder to get there. So if we put the water in first and then powder, much more even, consistent mix.
Cool.
And then from there, like I said, I'm gonna go and just pull your ear up a tiny bit off of its natural position, throw some of that alginate back there, and just do a light press till it kind of just sits where it naturally is and isn't depressed or rebounding. And from there, I will then fill the rest in.
Okay.
And we let it sit for a few minutes and then we can demold.
Awesome. Do we have to do like earplug or anything like that?
With the viscosity of the alginate, we don't need to worry about that.
Whoa.
If you
crazy.
Were, if you were using something like silicone, yes, you want to do an earplug. The alginates are thick enough that you don't need to worry about that. If you'd like, if you feel more comfortable, we can always do that too for the alginate. Okay,
I trust you.
Okay.
You're the expert.
All right, you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get to it. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to worry about keeping a straight face like you would with a full face. can be mixed by hand, or if you use a drill mixer, that usually gets makes it a little bit easier to mix, but for this, we don't need to do that.
How long do you have to mix? What's the pot life, I guess?
Pot life, I usually give this one about 3 minutes worth of working time before it starts getting a little bit too set up to do much with. So you don't want to mix too long. Alginates are fairly quick, but when it comes to light casting, you do want to be as quick as possible for model comfort there. All right, so you're going to feel something that's going to be a little wet. This shouldn't be that cold because
here it comes.
We're working with 90-degree water. So it shouldn't be too wet on you.
Oh, yeah,
too cold,
no,
I should say.
It doesn't feel very cold.
Yeah, I was going to say, with 90-degree water, that makes it definitely easier. Yep,
Perfect.
So now I'm just kind of working it in the back here.
I can like barely feel it. That's kind of cool.
I'm just going to work this into your ear and make sure we get all that nice detail before I pour. All right, there we go.
Very cool.
Now I can start filling this up. Just going to do it slowly. Again, we don't want to deform that nice ear shape. Pressure okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Trying to make sure we...
Oh, that's a weird sensation. Losing the hearing on that one side. It's a great earplug.
Oh, yeah. All right, ready? Mm-hmm. You're going to feel a bit of a weight now.
Okay.
Here.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Just want to make sure that ear doesn't get too compressed. I'm going to put a little bit more on. How you feeling?
I'm great.
Good. All right. And that should be good. Just going to tap this a little bit to help level this out so we have more of a flush bottom here and it's not too lumpy. And then I'm just going to hold this here until this sets up. All right, I can stop holding that.
Wow.
This is set up enough.
That's so fast.
Oh yeah.
So then this is an alginate mold.
Yes.
So the alginate molds don't last for a really long time. They're not like super durable.
No. Because you're just using a powder and a water with alginate, eventually the water does evaporate out. Mm-hmm. So you want to use them as quickly as possible, as well as if you sit too long, what can happen is you can either get distortion, because as the water leaves, the mold will shrink, as well as the water pools in places in the mold as well. So when you go to cast in there, you get little water bubbles that will appear on the surface and wreck the detail. All right. All right, we are all set. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to peel away some of this excess that dripped. And just give this a little bit of a flex and then it'll pop right off.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Alginate's really nice because it doesn't need a release agent. It's natural releasing, so it doesn't stick to hair or anything like that. All right, there we go. Cups off. And now to do this, I'm going to peel it up the front first. Slowly work any hair that might have got caught. There we go. And then just slowly work it off the back side. Let me know if you have any discomfort.
No, I'm doing just great. This is such a weird sensation.
All right, there we go. I'll just peel that right off for you. There.
Oh. Wow.
And there's your ear.
That's my ear. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Can I touch it?
Yep, so it'll capture all that skin detail down to all those little pores. Any of these small bubbles that we did get, those we can just clean up after the fact.
Wow. That was amazingly fast.
Right?
Yeah.
Super easy.
I like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it didn't get like hot or warm or anything. It was just kind of a little bit of pressure. And yeah, you're right, it didn't go into my ear canal, so thanks for that.
You're welcome. That's why I like using Alginate for doing ears over silicones, is you don't have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah.
It's quick, it's easy.
And you get the detail that you're after.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's my ear, you guys. This is really cool.
All right, ready?
Yes.
All right.
There she is.
There you go. So now we just gotta wait for this to set up.
I'm amazed at how quickly this is going. This feels like something I could do on my friends. Ha ha ha. I'm sure they're going to be asking me to do it.
And look at that, we're already set. Yeah, so same thing, I'm just going to peel some of this excess away before I take the cup off.
Oh, that's such a weird feeling.
All right. Same thing as before, I'm going to break that front surface. Come around to the back. The reason why I break the front surface first versus the back surface is, even though it's not like sticking and it just releases, you still have a lot of surface tension. These do have a low tear strength, so we do want to be very careful with it and slowly pull up on that. And also, if you get any hairs trapped, like I said, it won't bond to the hairs, and you can actually just gradually pull them through like I'm doing there. We have a few, but...
Oh, I didn't even feel that. Was my hair stuck in it?
Yeah.
Didn't even notice.
And here we go.
Oh, that's incredible. May I?
Go for it.
How are we going to get material in there?
For that, we're going to be using a very fast setting resin called Smoothcast 300Q. The reason being is, well, while urethanes are moisture sensitive and lots of moisture there, the 300Q sets so quickly, it doesn't have time to interact. So it's a very low viscosity resin, so it'll just flow right in there, sets up nice and quick, and then that's going to be a little bit more durable than, say, something like plaster. So works great with alginates because there's no bad interaction between plasters and water. It's usually what you use for life casting. But the only problem you have with that is much lower setting, and also on an ear piece like this, there's so little material, they break easily.
Sure, yeah.
And there's not too much you can do about reinforcing that because it's so thin.
Yeah, and you're going to be working on it, like sculpting, so you want it to be a little bit more durable.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
So for this, we're just going to use we're just going to reuse the same containers and match them up. And just take these and press down to create a nice little seal. So it'll be a little bit here, but we can clean that up later with just some sanding.
Okay.
So that's easy enough to do.
So talk to me about this step. What are we doing in this step, and what is this? And now that we have the perfect replica of my...
Of course.
Well,
now that we
mold.
now that we have the mold, because these are our molds of your ears, we need to do a casting. We're going to be using the Smoothcast 300Q, 60-second pot life.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, it has a snap cure, so we can watch it go. It'll go from being a nice kind of amberish, clear liquid, and it's going to go white.
Oh, yeah. I love.
Looks
those.
like magic.
Yeah, that is like magic.
So these are going to be 1-to-1 by volume.
Okay.
So it makes it very easy to mix. Big thing with anything though, like all our materials, outside of our powders, because you can't really mix a powder too much, you do want to give any of the liquid ones a good shake. There are different components inside of these. You can kind of think of them like salad dressing. Over time, the oil and water will separate. Well, the oil and vinegar, I should say, will separate.
Okay.
Same thing happens here. There's different components that separate out. So you just got to give them a good little mix to make sure that they're fine. For really liquid stuff like this, giving it a shake is all you need to do.
Okay.
And then separate container for our part A. Same thing, we're just gonna match that volume. Give that a quick little visual check. Those look pretty even to me.
Looks pretty even.
All right. So like I said, 60 seconds for the pot life.
Okay.
Very quick stuff. I generally like to use the part B. Part B tends to be thicker on the resins. So because of this being so fast, I don't want to have to worry about trying to scrape all the material out. So I always pour my thinner part, which is usually the A, second.
Makes sense. Okay.
Because you're going to see there's a whole bunch of material clinging there. So you got to take the time, you got to give that a good little scrape to make sure we're getting all of that out. So now we can just pour our part A.
Okay. This is exciting.
This is a lot easier to scrape.
Now that the clock is ticking.
There's a good little mixing.
And you said this was 3 minutes?
60 seconds.
60 seconds!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be fancy and just make sure we get a nice little double mix here. Don't want to have any unmixed material going into these molds because they are pretty much one use.
Yeah, because we're going to have to take them apart to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, very exciting.
So then we're going to slowly pour right into the bottom here to make sure that it's pushing the air up and out. Otherwise, we're going to get air trapped. I can already starting to feel this get warm on me.
And I notice you're pouring from one place.
Yep.
Not just dumping it over the whole thing. Is that to reduce air bubbles getting trapped in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If I'm like pouring all over the place, I can get air trapped. So one spot, and I find on the earlobe's the best place to go because if you do the earlobe, it runs down and then pushes all the air up top of the ear.
Awesome.
And there we go.
Wow, that's so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and you actually will notice,
Yeah.
because they are heat sensitive, they're temperature sensitive, I should say. You can see that right where it's touching the alginate, where it's a little bit cool,
yeah.
and it's sucking that heat away, it's a little bit slower. So so even though this is set, the ear itself is going to be a little bit floppy. So we're going to leave this set for about 5-ish minutes before we demold them to make sure that they have enough time to set up.
Perfect. Well, we can do the other one.
Yep.
Cheese.
All right, so we're going to do the same amount of material. And of course, if you didn't want white, you could throw some pigment in here to pick a different color.
And nothing's leaking out because it was a nice firm seal. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna flash in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. So there we go. So these are definitely set up at this point. They're not as hot as they were, so.
They're still kind of warm, but
yes.
Yeah, we ready?
We're ready. Yep. So just give it a little crack around the outside to do that, and then we can just pull that off.
Pull that off on that side.
Yep, and it should come right out. There we go. And then, one ear.
Oh my gosh. Okay, mold, you're dead. Oh my God, that was a weird sound. Look at that. Okay, hang on. Oops.
Yep.
Perfect.
Pop that out right at the bottom. There you go. You got 2 ears to work with now.
And this is this ear, and this is this ear. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I am so excited to work on these. Thank you. This was so much fun.
Glad you had fun. And then as far as cleaning up, this is really easy to clean up. You can just take a file to here or a Dremel and just cut this excess off that's going to get in the way of your sculpting.
Perfect.
And you'll be good to go.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, guys, look at these ears. I'm so excited to start sculpting the amazing Lazelle ears. This is so cool to have these molds, but we don't have time to do the rest of it because obviously I have to go home and sculpt it. So stay tuned for how I do that, and I'm going to be sharing everything, all the steps that I take to make all of those once I decide which materials and what processes I want to use. So stay tuned.